Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim is in Indonesia at the invitation of President Prabowo Subianto. Developments in the Middle East and how they might affect regional stability and the global economy, all to be discussed, as well as global trade routes and supply chains. The meeting also a chance to highlight how ASEAN can function and keep the region united and maintain peace. Just before his trip, Mr. Anwar had thanked the Iranian president for allowing safe passage for Malaysia-bound vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. CNA senior correspondent Melissa Goh joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Melissa, Malaysia and Indonesia, on the surface, certainly clear alignment on conflict in the Middle East. Where do we expect the two leaders on this visit to be showing that they share similar purpose?
Well, for starters, both are Muslim-majority countries. They're seen by and large as neutral parties with relatively good working relationship with US, China, and many Gulf states and countries in the Middle East. Now, political observers are telling me that Malaysia and Indonesia can leverage on each other's influence and experience as mediators and align their stance, either through ASEAN or through the Organization of Islamic Conference, OIC, to call for immediate ceasefire and prevent military conflicts from escalating further. Now, although both countries are located relatively far from Middle East, they said that Malaysia as well as Indonesia can do more as earnest peace brokers. Now, however modest the call is, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has been among the first leaders in ASEAN to condemn the US-Israel attacks on Iran. He has also urged all sides to exercise restraint to prevent further loss of lives. Now, already millions have been displaced. Now, Mr. Anwar would hope that President Prabowo, in his short trip in Jakarta, and they met for 2 hours, will back him in this regard, because Southeast Asian countries too are bearing the brunt of the energy crisis, and the disruption of shipping routes and the closure of Strait of Hormuz are starting to hurt the people. And Mr. Anwar firmly believes that Malaysia and Indonesia can be a neutral ground for leaders from both sides to meet to try to de-escalate tensions by first aligning their positions. Now, incidentally, both countries are also facing similar investigation in the US on forced labor and so on, and public hearings coming up next month as President Trump seeks to reimpose tariffs through other means.
Melissa, any weight that Indonesia and Malaysia might carry individually would be magnified if they could act in unison. ASEAN, 11 large member bloc. Can these two leaders do more to push for ASEAN to reach a unified and therefore stronger position on this war in Iran?
Now, although ASEAN, the Southeast Asian bloc, is located far away from the conflicts, and many of member countries are reeling from the price shocks in petrol and diesel, the knock-on effects on food prices going to be severe with the disruption in fertilizers and animal feed supply and so on. A united ASEAN, of course, can add weight to the global call for de-escalation. The ASEAN chair this year is the Philippines, and there are opportunities for ASEAN to send a stronger message at the summit in May, although that summit has been scaled down somewhat due to the prevailing conflict in the Middle East. Now, member countries are reeling. They will be hoping for a quick end for this conflict to end sooner than later. And Mr. Anwar and Mr. Prabowo both said that they have a united strand. They both agreed to step up diplomatic efforts in this regard, and both have described the meeting as constructive and meaningful in that 2 hours.
Thanks. Melissa Goh there reporting live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's Anwar Ibrahim visiting Indonesia.